What if everything you've been taught about success is wrong? What if the key to achieving your greatest dreams lies not in comfort, but in discomfort? Right now, you might be thinking, I'm fine, I'm comfortable, I'm doing okay. But deep down, you feel it, don't you? That nagging sensation that something is missing, a void that no amount of comfort, security, or routine can fill. It's that feeling that keeps you awake at night, wondering if there's more to life than what you've settled for. The truth is, you'll never grow in comfort. You'll never achieve your full potential while hiding behind the walls of what feels safe and easy. The comfort zone, it's a trap. It lures you in with promises of peace and predictability. But in the process, it keeps you from becoming the person you were meant to be. The things you want most in life, success, happiness, fulfillment, are waiting just outside your comfort zone. And yet, for so many of us, it's the hardest place to escape. But that's exactly why you need to force yourself to step beyond it. Imagine for a moment that you had no fear, no hesitation, no what-ifs holding you back. What would you do? What would you create? How far would you go if there was nothing stopping you? Deep down, you know the answer. The only thing standing between you and the person you dream of becoming is the discomfort you're avoiding. Here's the harsh truth. Growth only happens when you push yourself to the edge. Comfort keeps you stuck in the same place. It gives you a false sense of security, but it also breeds complacency. You might think you're doing fine, but every day you stay inside that comfort zone is another day wasted. You're not evolving, you're not expanding, you're merely existing. There's a certain magic that happens when you embrace discomfort. It's the kind of magic that makes your heart race and your mind focus like never before. It's the feeling you get when you step into the unknown, when you take a leap of faith, when you face a challenge that forces you to grow. Every moment of discomfort is an opportunity for transformation. Every time you push through the resistance, you build a new layer of strength, a new layer of confidence. It's the fire that forges the steel of who you are becoming. But we resist it. It's human nature. No one likes to feel vulnerable. No one wants to face uncertainty or struggle. The brain is wired to avoid pain, to seek pleasure. But the greatest achievements of human history, those incredible breakthroughs, those moments of greatness, didn't come from playing it safe. They came from people who dared to step into the unknown, who were willing to experience discomfort in order to become something more. Take a moment to think about the people you admire most, the athletes who break records, the entrepreneurs who built empires from scratch, the artists who put their work into the world despite the risk of failure. These people didn't settle. They didn't wait for comfort to come knocking. They understood that in order to achieve something extraordinary, they had to endure the discomfort of growth. They didn't seek comfort. They forced themselves to experience discomfort because they knew it was the only path to greatness. So why do we stay comfortable? Why do we cling to the safety of our routines, even when we know deep down that it's holding us back? It's because the fear of failure is powerful. The fear of the unknown paralyzes us. But here's the truth that will change everything. Failure is not your enemy. It's your greatest ally. Every failure is a lesson. Every setback is a chance to get stronger, smarter, and more resilient. But you'll never learn these lessons if you never venture outside your comfort zone. You'll never grow if you're too afraid to try. When you choose to step into discomfort, you choose to grow. You choose to face the fear that's been holding you back. You choose to break free from the prison of your own limitations. And when you do, something incredible happens. You start to feel alive. You start to realize that you're capable of more than you ever imagined. The discomfort that once terrified you becomes the fuel that propels you forward. It becomes the force that drives you to take action, to reach higher, to push further. This is where your journey begins. It's time to stop waiting for the perfect moment, the right opportunity, the ideal situation. They don't exist. The only thing that matters is that you take the first step. Force yourself to be uncomfortable. Step into the unknown. Push yourself past the limits you've set for yourself, because only then will you discover just how much you're truly capable of. You were not meant to stay small. You were meant to rise. But you can only rise if you dare to leave comfort behind. So, what are you waiting for? Step out. Step forward. The life you've always dreamed of is waiting for you, just beyond the horizon of discomfort. All you have to do is take the first step. You've felt the fear, haven't you? That gut-wrenching sensation that tightens your chest when you're faced with something that challenges you. The fear that tries to talk you out of taking that next step, of doing something outside of what feels safe. It's a powerful force, one that makes us doubt ourselves, question our abilities, and convince us that we're not ready. But here's the truth that you need to internalize. Fear is a lie. Fear will never tell you the truth. It will never tell you that every time you face it, you grow stronger. It will never tell you that every time you push past it, you discover new depths of courage you never knew existed. In reality, fear is nothing more than a signal, an invitation to stretch, to evolve, to expand into who you were meant to become. The moment you feel fear, that's the moment you should lean in, not back away. Fear, in its purest form, is a sign that you're on the right path. It's a sign that you're about to break through to something new. When you stop running from it, when you stop letting it control you, it no longer has power over you. Look at the people who inspire you. They didn't get to where they are by avoiding fear. No, they felt it just as deeply as you do. But what they did differently was face it. Every successful person has stood at the crossroads of fear and uncertainty, and they chose to walk through it anyway. They didn't wait for the fear to go away because they knew it wouldn't. They knew that fear wasn't something you conquer once and for all. It's something you learn to dance with, something you learn to live with. And with every step they took in the face of fear, they grew. And so can you. Think about the last time you did something that truly scared you. Remember how alive you felt? The adrenaline, the excitement, the rush of knowing you were doing something that stretched you beyond your limits. That feeling is not an accident. It's a sign that you were meant for more, that you were designed to push past boundaries to explore the unknown, that you were meant to experience the transformation that only discomfort can bring. But here's the problem. The longer you allow fear to control your actions, the further you move away from the person you want to be. Fear keeps you stuck in the same place. It keeps you small, locked in a cycle of doubt and hesitation. Every time you choose comfort over fear, you tell yourself that you're not capable of handling more. You tell yourself that you're not worthy of growth. But what if I told you that the fear you're avoiding right now is actually a sign that you're on the edge of something incredible? You're not going to grow by staying safe. You're not going to build the life you dream of by avoiding the discomfort of uncertainty. In fact, the greatest things in life don't happen when you're comfortable. They happen when you're pushing yourself to new heights, when you're facing fear head-on and refusing to let it control you. The discomfort you feel now is the same discomfort that will fuel your future success. The struggle you face today is the price of the transformation that's waiting for you tomorrow. The truth is, the longer you wait, the harder it becomes. Fear doesn't magically disappear. In fact, the more you avoid it, the stronger it gets. It starts to weave itself into every decision you make, every action you don't take, until one day you look back and realize how much time you've wasted because you were afraid to. Step outside your comfort zone. The opportunity to become the person you're meant to be doesn't wait for you. It's constantly moving, constantly evolving, and if you don't catch up, you'll miss it. But here's the good news. You have the power to change that. You have the power to stop letting fear dictate your actions. You have the power to face discomfort and use it to your advantage. Every time you step outside of what's familiar, you gain momentum. You gain the strength to keep going, even when it's hard, even when it feels like you're not making progress. And with every small victory, you build a foundation that will carry you through even the toughest of times. This is where the real magic happens. The shift from being afraid of discomfort to actively seeking it. Imagine waking up each day not dreading the challenges ahead, but looking forward to them. Imagine feeling the fear and choosing to dive right in anyway. That's the mindset of someone who understands that discomfort is not a barrier. It's a bridge. It's a bridge to the next level of success. It's the path that leads to everything you've ever wanted. But you can only cross it if you're willing to embrace the discomfort. If you're willing to face the fear and say, I'm not backing down. I'm not staying small. I am stepping into this moment and I am going to own it. This is the shift that will change everything for you. The moment you stop seeing discomfort as a threat and start seeing it as an opportunity is the moment your life will begin to transform. The person you are becoming is on the other side of that fear, waiting for you to show up. And when you do, you'll discover that you're capable of so much more than you ever imagined. You'll realize that the fear you've been avoiding was never the obstacle. It was the path. So, the next time fear comes knocking, don't run, don't hide. Step forward, step into it. Because beyond it lies everything you've ever wanted, and the only way to reach it is by pushing through the discomfort. You are not meant to live a life of limitation. You are meant for greatness. But greatness doesn't come from avoiding the hard things. It comes from doing the hard things over and over again until they no longer hold power over you. And that's when true transformation begins. Now that you've started to see fear for what it truly is, a sign that you're on the brink of something great, let's talk about something even more crucial, mental toughness. It's easy to romanticize success, to look at someone who's made it and think, I could never do that. But here's a secret. What you see is not the whole story. What you see is the result of mental toughness, the ability to keep going when everything inside you says stop. It's not about talent. It's not about luck. It's about the strength to endure, to push through, and to show up even when it seems impossible. If you want to achieve anything of significance, you need to develop mental toughness. And mental toughness isn't something you're born with. It's something you build piece by piece, moment by moment. It's forged in the moments when you don't want to get out of bed, when you're exhausted, when the doubt creeps in, when every voice in your head tells you to quit. Mental toughness is not about ignoring the pain. It's about acknowledging it and choosing to keep moving forward anyway. It's about not giving up when it gets hard, but finding the strength to push through the discomfort and keep going. Every time you force yourself to be uncomfortable, you're building that mental toughness. Every time you step into a challenge, every time you face a fear and walk straight into it, you are conditioning your mind to endure, to persevere, and to thrive. It's like training your body in the gym. You don't get stronger by avoiding the weights, by staying in your comfort zone. You get stronger by pushing yourself beyond your limits, by enduring the burn, by facing the resistance. That's how your muscles grow, and that's how your mind grows. You don't become mentally tough by playing it safe. You become mentally tough by willingly stepping into discomfort and embracing it. But here's where it gets tricky. We live in a world that tells us to avoid pain at all costs. We're taught to seek pleasure and comfort, to take the easy road. But success, the kind of success that changes lives, isn't found on the easy road. It's found on the hard road, the one that's filled with obstacles, setbacks, and moments of doubt. The road that forces you to dig deep, to find reserves of strength you didn't even know you had. This is the road you must choose if you want to achieve anything extraordinary. It's easy to look at someone who's achieved greatness and think it came effortlessly. But the reality is that every person who's ever accomplished something significant has faced countless moments of struggle. Every entrepreneur, every athlete, every leader who's ever succeeded has had to face moments of discomfort. Moments when they thought about quitting, moments when they didn't think they could go on. But what sets them apart from the rest is this: they kept going. They pushed through the discomfort. They turned the pain into their power, and you can do the same. It's not about ignoring the discomfort. It's about learning how to thrive in it. You must learn to embrace the struggle, to accept it as part of the process. Because what you're feeling in those tough moments is not failure, it's growth. You are being shaped, sculpted, and hardened into something stronger, something better. Every challenge is an opportunity to expand, to become more than you were yesterday. It's the discomfort that makes you who you are meant to be. Without it, you remain stagnant, unchanged. But with it, you rise. You rise to the person you've always known you could be, but never had the courage to become. Ask yourself, how bad do I want it? How much are you willing to sacrifice to get to where you want to be? The difference between those who achieve their dreams and those who don't is often not about talent, opportunity, or circumstances. It's about how much discomfort they're willing to endure. It's about how much they're willing to push through when things get tough. When everyone else is ready to quit, the mentally tough keep going, and that's why they succeed. Because success is not just about what you do when things are easy, it's about what you do when things are hard. It's about your ability to keep going when the road gets rough. You need to learn to view discomfort as your ally, not your enemy. Every time you feel that resistance, every time you feel like giving up, that's the moment to push even harder. That's the moment to dig deep and remind yourself that this struggle is not in vain. It's shaping you. It's refining you. It's preparing you for what's to come. If you want to succeed, you must commit to building your mental toughness. You must choose the hard path. You must choose to face discomfort head-on, because only then will you realize your true potential. The person you're becoming, the one who will achieve everything you've dreamed of, is the one who can endure, the one who can push through the pain, the one who can rise above the fear and doubt. That person is already inside you, waiting to be unlocked. And every time you choose discomfort, you're one step closer to setting them free. So, the next time you face a challenge, don't back away, lean in, embrace it, let it strengthen you. And remember, mental toughness is not something you have to be born with. It's something you build every single day. Every time you force yourself to be uncomfortable, you're building the strength you need to break through to the other side. And when you do, nothing will be able to stop you. You've now realized that comfort is a trap, that fear is just a signal for growth, and that mental toughness is the muscle you need to build if you want to rise above. But there's still something holding you back, something that many of us overlook in our pursuit of greatness. It's the hidden danger of playing it safe. We've been conditioned to avoid risk, to stay in the comfort zone, to protect ourselves from failure and rejection. But this safety we crave, it's a mirage, a dangerous illusion that promises peace but delivers nothing more than a life of mediocrity. Think about it. How often do you play it safe? How many times have you held back, played small, because you were afraid of the unknown? Safe decisions keep you in a bubble, far from the life you dream of, far from your full potential. But here's the thing. The truly successful don't play it safe. They take risks. They walk into uncertainty knowing that the path is not guaranteed. But they also know that without taking the risk, there is no reward. Without stepping out of their comfort zone, there is no chance for growth. They understand the one thing that most people fail to see. Playing it safe keeps you stuck. Safety might feel good for a moment. It might give you a sense of control, but the longer you stay within that bubble, the more suffocated you become. You are not meant to live a life of safety and comfort. You are not meant to play small, to keep your dreams tucked away because you're afraid of what might happen if you try. There is no greatness in the safety of your comfort zone. There is no world-changing impact in playing it safe. There is only the illusion of control, but nothing substantial. When you choose to play it safe, you tell yourself that the fear of failure is greater than your desire for success. You choose the short-term relief of comfort over the long-term rewards of growth and achievement. But the moment you realize that success never comes from avoiding failure, everything changes. The most successful people in the world didn't avoid failure, they embraced it. They saw failure as a stepping stone, not a dead end. They chose to face the unknown, to take risks, because they knew that only by stepping outside the safety of their comfort zones could they truly achieve something extraordinary. Think about the people you admire most. Every entrepreneur, athlete, artist, and leader you look up to has faced the same fear of failure you have. They've stared down the unknown, felt the same self-doubt you're feeling, and yet they chose to step forward anyway. They chose to act, to take that risk, to put themselves out there in ways that made them vulnerable. And that vulnerability, that's where the magic happens. It's the place where real growth takes place. It's the place where you discover what you're truly capable of. What's the alternative? The alternative is to stay where you are, playing it safe, avoiding discomfort, and convincing yourself that you're fine. But deep down you know this isn't living. It's not thriving, it's existing. And one day you'll look back and wonder why you didn't take that chance, why you didn't push yourself to be more, to do more. You'll wonder why you let fear and doubt keep you in the same place, playing it safe, never taking the leap. When you realize that safety is a lie, that the only way to grow and evolve is through discomfort, everything shifts. You stop being afraid of failure, and instead, you start to see it as a necessary part of the process. You stop letting the fear of what might go wrong paralyze you, and you start focusing on what could go right. You start taking calculated risks, stepping into uncertainty with the confidence that whatever happens, you'll be okay, because you know that each step forward, no matter how small, is a step closer to your true potential. What would happen if you started to make decisions that pushed you outside your comfort zone? What would happen if, instead of playing it safe, you made bold moves, embraced the discomfort, and risked everything for the chance at something greater? The answer is simple. You would transform your life. You would stop being a bystander and start being the creator of your own future. You would begin to see opportunities where others see obstacles. You would stop playing small and start living large. The first step is to stop running from fear and start running toward it. When you choose discomfort over safety, you choose growth, you choose transformation, you choose to stop hiding and start living the life you were meant to live. And when you do that, you'll find that the world is not as scary as you once thought. It's full of endless possibilities, possibilities that can only be unlocked when you have the courage to leave behind the false security of playing it safe and step boldly into the unknown. You are capable of far more than you give yourself credit for. Your potential is waiting for you on the other side of fear, on the other side of risk, on the other side of playing it safe. It's time to stop settling for mediocrity. It's time to step into your greatness. You don't have to have all the answers right now. You don't have to know how everything will unfold. But you do have to take that first step. The rest will follow. So, ask yourself, what would it feel like to embrace the unknown? What would it feel like to stop worrying about the risks and start focusing on the rewards? What would it feel like to take that leap and trust that you're capable of more than you ever imagined? The answer to that question is your future, and it starts now with the decision to stop playing it safe. You've already realized that playing it safe is a trap, and you've come to understand that discomfort is a sign of growth. But there's one more truth that you must confront. If you're going to truly unlock your potential, you are not going to change unless you change your habits. This is the hardest part, the part where most people falter. It's easy to dream big, to envision success, to say, I'm ready to change. But it's not the dream that will carry you forward. It's the daily actions, the small, sometimes painful steps you take every day that will determine whether or not you succeed. You've heard it 1,000 times. Success is not an overnight achievement. It's the result of the habits you cultivate, the choices you make every single day. Your life today is the sum of the habits you've built up over the years, and if you want a different life, you have to build new habits. But here's the problem. Our brains are wired to resist change. We love comfort, we love routine, and we fight anything that challenges the way we've always done things. So when you set out to change your habits, you are literally going to war with your own mind, and that is why it's so hard. But here's the truth. Change is not supposed to be easy. It is supposed to be hard. If it was easy, everyone would do it. The fact that it's hard is exactly what makes it worthwhile. The process of creating new habits is the process of transforming who you are, of becoming the person capable of achieving everything you've dreamed of. The pain you feel when you're breaking an old habit is the pain of your old self dying, making room for a new version of you to emerge. The key to creating lasting change is consistency. You won't see results overnight, and that's okay. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to show up every single day, even when it's hard, even when you don't feel like it. Every small action you take compounds over time, like a snowball rolling down a hill. You may not notice the change at first, but if you stay consistent, you'll begin to see the shift. You'll begin to notice that your mindset is different, your energy is different, and your actions are different. The person who once played it safe, the person who was afraid to step outside their comfort zone, is now becoming someone who takes risks, embraces discomfort, and pushes through every obstacle with purpose and intention. The mistake most people make is that they focus on the big picture, the end goal, without realizing that the magic happens in the small, everyday moments. Success is built on the actions you take when no one is watching, on the commitment to show up when no one is there to cheer you on. It's the quiet hours spent working when everyone else is sleeping. It's the sacrifices you make when it seems like no one notices. It's the early mornings, the late nights, the moments when you could easily quit, but instead you push forward anyway. These are the moments that define your future. These are the moments that build the foundation for everything you want to achieve. You see, you don't need to have all the answers. You don't need to know exactly how you'll achieve your dreams. You just need to start, and then you need to keep going. The habit of showing up, of doing the work, even when it's uncomfortable, is the habit that will carry you through to success. It's the commitment to take action every single day, no matter how small that action might be. Over time, these daily actions will stack up, and before you know it, you'll look back and realize just how far you've come. Now here's the catch. Even when you start building new habits, you will inevitably face resistance. Your mind will try to talk you out of it. It will tell you that you're too tired, that it's too hard, that you're not good enough, that it's just not worth it. But this is where the real test comes. This is where you have to push through. Because every time you face resistance and choose to keep going, you are strengthening the most important muscle of all, your discipline. Discipline is what keeps you on track when motivation fades. Discipline is what keeps you moving forward when you want to quit. And discipline is what will ultimately separate you from the people who never get to where they want to be. Think about the people who have achieved the level of success you admire. They didn't get there by relying on motivation alone. Motivation is fleeting, it's unreliable. But discipline? Discipline is steady. It's a choice you make every day, regardless of how you feel. It's a decision to keep going when the excitement has worn off and the hard work is starting to feel overwhelming. Discipline is the key to consistency, and consistency is the key to success. Every time you force yourself to do something difficult, every time you choose discomfort over comfort, you are creating a new habit. And over time, those habits compound into the success you're working toward. The person you are today is the result of the habits you've built so far. But the person you're going to become, the one who achieves greatness, is the result of the habits you start building today. You have the power to create the life you want, but you have to start with the small, consistent actions. The choice is yours. You can either continue to let your habits control you, or you can take control of your habits and create the future you've always dreamed of. It's not easy, but it's worth it. The path to greatness is built on the foundation of the habits you choose to create. And every day you have the opportunity to make those choices. Every day you have the chance to step closer to the person you were always meant to be. All it takes is the decision to start and the discipline to keep going. There's something you need to understand about this journey you're on, something that will change the way you view success and failure forever. It's that failure isn't the opposite of success. It's part of it. In fact, failure is one of your greatest allies. The fear of failure, the shame that comes with falling short, the pain of not getting it right, it all has a purpose. It's shaping you. It's refining you. Every failure is a lesson in disguise, a stepping stone on the path to your greatness. But here's the catch. You will never learn those lessons if you keep running from failure, if you keep avoiding discomfort, if you keep holding back because you're scared of what might happen. When you choose to face failure head on, when you stop running from it and instead embrace it as part of the process, that's when the magic happens. That's when you stop seeing failure as something to fear and start seeing it as something to learn from. Every time you fail, you gain knowledge, you gain experience, you gain insight into what works and what doesn't. And every time you get back up, you grow stronger. You're developing resilience, the kind of resilience that separates those who make it from those who quit. The reality is that every single person who has ever accomplished something great has failed many times. They've faced setbacks, made mistakes, and had moments where they thought about giving up. But the difference between them and everyone else is that they didn't let failure define them. They didn't let it break them. They used it as fuel. They used it as a teacher, and they kept moving forward.